Hey guys, it's Papa Nasty here, and today I'm doing a video about Lord of the Rings, Rise to War, where I'm going to be specifically talking about going solo. This is the best starting strategy in Lord of the Rings 2.0, and yeah, let's take a look. So first off, why do you call it going solo? I just simply needed to give it a name. It was just a bit of a pain to try and describe it each time that I wanted to talk about it to somebody. So I called it going solo. I don't know what other people call it. It isn't a tactic that I invented or anything. But yeah, I just call it going solo. What actually is going solo? So this is something that, as I said, other people have been doing it for a while, and I sort of learnt about it a while ago as well. But this is the first time that I've had a chance to do a sort of proper video about it, because we're coming up to start of our next season, and I used it extensively at the start of our current season and found it works really, really well, and I want to share that information with everyone else. So what actually is it? We're going to use 3 direct damage commanders, we're going to use 1 support commander, and then we're going to use 1 troop on each commander. Yep, that's right, just 1 troop on each commander. So that's 1 orc. Not like 100 orcs, like 1 orc on each commander, or 1 halberdier, or 1 pikeman, 1 brawler or berserker. Okay, just 1 troop on each commander. So how does that actually work? Commander damage. Commanders do the same amount of damage regardless of how many troops they have now. This is a big change compared to 1.0, and so as a result you can potentially just do huge amounts of damage, even though you don't actually have any troops if you've just got your commander. And then of course your commanders will just heal naturally, or you can speed it up as well, but they will just heal naturally, and it doesn't actually cost you any resources to heal them, etc. Yeah, also as well, commanders have hit points. So commanders can actually tank a few hits. They can't tank that many, but they can tank a few hits. And if you give them the right equipment, you can increase their hit points. So that way they can tank more hits. You can also increase their commander defense, right? So that way they take less damage from each hit. So commander hit points and commander damage are usually 2 of the worst stats, but when you're going solo, they are 2 of the best stats. Also as well, of course, you can use your support abilities. So Undying has his evade, which is insanely good for going solo. But also you've got commanders like Glacier who can reduce the enemy's attack, and so that's like, when you reduce their attack, it's like adding plus commander defense to all of your commanders, because you're reducing the amount of damage that the enemy can do. Also as well, it's good to have a follow-up march ready as a backup, just in case if your commanders don't get the tile when they hit it. Just have a follow-up march sort of ready with troops and things, because there's some commanders that are not very good at sort of going solo, and so a good use for them is to have them ready as a follow-up march, so that after the tile's been weakened, they come in and take the tile if the commanders going solo weren't able to take it themselves. What are the benefits of that? It's pretty obvious. Significantly less troops die, because you only have 1 troop that's going to die each time. So if less troops die, that means that you don't need to train as many new troops. That means you can instead spend your resources on upgrading buildings, and so that way you can get your development a lot faster and unlock your higher level troops, unlock your higher level barracks, unlock your higher level everything. Also as well, you can utilize more commanders, because when there's less risk to you attacking, then you're not going to be quite as afraid to go and attack with your LOTR or your Camul or something, right? You don't necessarily need to have your awesome best commander attacking, you can attack with Mr. Nobody, Mr. I forgot the name of them, and if they die, they die. If they don't, they don't. It's no big deal because you're only losing one troop, and so you can use that to sort of go through and take additional sort of low-level tiles, or do whatever you want, because there's no risk in it. There's very little to lose. Yeah. Okay. So here's an example of just obviously these are level 40 commanders, so this is the end of the season for me, but I just sort of wanted to give an example here where this is a 150 power tile. I've gone through, attacked it with these commanders. I've deliberately not used my sort of best commanders. I've just used some, Glacier, Lothar, or Exoc, Camul, your tier 2s or tier 1s, who are not necessarily the best. However, I have one of the great things about 2.0 is that you can just transfer equipment. So I've transferred my very sort of good equipment to Kamal, and that obviously helps him out a lot. The others, though, I've just given them purples. I just transferred to Kamal just to give that specific example that we don't have you don't have to increase your proficiency level with equipment anymore, so you can just swap equipment straight away. To get sort of good equipment and deal high damage. Also, you see here with Kamal, he's just got purples there. And one of the big things is that ring wraiths, and this is particularly why evil are really, really good at going solo, because ring wraiths, there are 3 abilities. All of them, they front load their damage, right? So Weapon Master is going to front load here, right? With Kamal, right? He's going to front load in the first 2 rounds as well, with his damage, and so you just deal a lot of damage in the first sort of couple of rounds before the enemy is actually able to kill you. Exoc is a little bit more of a slow burn commander, but he can sort of do, he can still do a decent amount of damage and things. But you see here he's doing half as much as Lothar, and only a third of what Kamal's doing. Kamal's obviously an insane gear, so but he's doing half of Lothar despite the same equipment. And that's just because those R3 abilities from the ring wraiths are really, really strong. Now here with Glacier, so here, this is the thing that's a little bit sort of different. Now here I've given her the Horseman's helm just to complete the set, because I didn't have the right helm available. But ideally here you want to be taking sort of items like for your support commander, you want to take items that have commander defense, and you want to take items that have commander hit points. So I should really refine this shield a bit more, but I made a bit of a mistake earlier, so immediately after 2.0 of nuking all my shields, and so I can't really refine it that much. But if you do refine an item with commander hit points, then you can increase that maximum commander hit points. But anyway, and the other stat, of course, that we want on these support commanders is this commander defense. So that way they can just tank a few hits. That's why I'm using this Warhammer here. I haven't even bothered to enhance it. This is another item that I've just nuked all of my Warhammers in the past, but it's got a lot of commander defense, so it's really good. Cutlass is probably the next best option. Because a Cutlass, of course, also has commander defense, just not quite as much as this Warhammer. With more sort of commander defense, it means that we're going to take less damage from the enemy when they attack us. For our physical DD commanders, we're of course using just commander damage and commander attack. These bone talismans are really good just because they've got, in addition to giving you commander hit points, they're also giving you commander attack. Of course, using Palanther or similar is going to increase your damage, so that's a good option. That's a good option as well. But when you're going solo, this is when bone talismans are actually really useful. I don't know necessarily if a Palanthers and drums of Barradur, if they're better than a Bone Talisman or not when you're going solo. It depends on, it depends. Anyway, so that's sort of what that's going solo. Quickly, just to show you here, so right, so we just one of the things that we do have to do when we're going solo is that you do need to return back to your settlement after each attack, and that's one of the frustrating things with it, because you can't just reinforce them, because they've set it so that to reinforce, it will reinforce you to maximum each time. There is a way around that, and maybe I'll do a video on it another time. I just don't have the right troops trained for that at the moment, and my barracks are maxed, so it's just a pain to change it. But anyway, hope this video helps, and if you liked the video, click like. If you didn't, then don't. If you want to see some more, subscribe. If you don't, then don't. Thanks all. Catch you later. See you.